can't just do whatever we want whenever we feel like it. If we could, we wouldn't need wisdom. Welcome to One Verse at a Time, a show where we slow down and zoom in on one scripture or a group of related verses so we can better understand the meaning and context. Today we're breaking down two gut-punching scriptures, Proverbs 18:21 and Proverbs 27:20. As humans, our natural tendency is to pursue the desires of the flesh, preferably without consequences. But that's not the kind of freedom that God talks about. The theme of today's episode is Wisdom Speaks Life. Let's start with Proverbs 18:21. The tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. Words are powerful. Trust can be broken in a second. Opportunities can be lost in a moment. And consequences can spread like wildfire with just a few words. God created a structured and ordered world. We can't just say whatever we feel or act however we want without consequences. There are guardrails. There's wisdom. God calls us to love our neighbor. That's not optional. So if someone cuts me off in traffic, I don't have the right to respond in anger. And this isn't just theoretical. I actually heard a story recently about someone who acted in a moment of road rage, and the other person pulled out a gun and then shot them in the neck. And now they're paralyzed from the neck down for life. All from one moment of uncontrolled anger. If nothing else makes you pause and think, is this worth it? That should. Actions have real consequences. If you lash out at a friend or a partner in the heat of the moment, you could damage that relationship permanently. If you go off on your boss, you could lose your job, your income, even something you are passionate about. And in today's world, people will remember everything. One moment, one post, one comment, and it can follow you for years. So here's the question we need to ask ourselves. Is how I feel right now more important than the outcome of what I'm about to do? Give yourself time. Step back and cool off. Then respond with wisdom. Now let's look at Proverbs 27:20. Just as death and destruction are never satisfied, so human desire is never satisfied. In other words, our desires are never fully satisfied. That quick reaction, that moment of release, that feeling of, I sure showed them, that does not last. And it never will. Because lasting satisfaction doesn't come from the flesh. It comes from God. That's why this connects so strongly with what we just read. If we don't control our words and our actions, we end up chasing feelings that never truly fulfill us. Think about it. The new car smell fades, the honeymoon phase ends, the bigger house always brings more responsibility. Even good things don't satisfy us forever. Only God does. So when we apply wisdom, when we pause and think before we speak, we begin to live differently. We begin to live better. Wisdom isn't just knowing what's right. It's choosing it, especially in the moment when it's the hardest. In the past, I used to have the mouth of a sailor, especially on the road, and I wasn't afraid to say whatever I felt. But there's no way I would do that today, because I understand the cost. I know what's right. Love God. Love your neighbor. Use wisdom. One thing's for sure, I've never seen road rage produce anything good. So the question is, are your words bringing life or death? That's all I have for you today. What are some split-second decisions that you've made that didn't turn out well? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to keep growing spiritually, let's continue uncovering God's truth together, one verse at a time.